Uh-oh, what's up, everybody? Okay. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Have a special guest for y'all today. I know y'all can't hear my damn behind because I got my music turned up really, really loud. So I'm gonna turn it down just a smidgen. Okay. Now the reason I have this going through my phone because y'all can bounce right in. All right. So in the meantime, in between time, let's see. In the meantime, and in between time, I'm gonna get some more notifications out because yeah, I didn't do that. Hold on for a second. Yeah. All right. All my stuff is updating at the same time. So let me greet everybody real quick. Gordon Hardu, the dog, all the way to the bank. Buses close, going to miss me. Get a power konnichiwa. Ihani ama, sani konani, jambo bagani. Assalamu alaikum, shalom. Okay, so we got a guest in here because she's a subject matter expert on what we got going down for today. Okay, I don't know what's going on with stuff. I know what's going on. You tell it's over here. But anyway, hold on for a second. Oh, all right, so there we go. So as we jump back into the spiritus, there we go. So as we jump back up into all this stuff that's going on, all this garbage here, I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm tired as hell, if there was ever such a thing. The beautiful woman you see here, send me a messenger. What you want to go? Oh, never mind. Your whole damn name is up in. You put it in there yourself.
Yes.
Okay. This is Khadijah, right? And so, when I found out what she actually does, right? When I found out what she actually does, and hey, let me say what's up to everybody real quick. I didn't even do that. Hey, what's up, Texas Marine? Semper Fi, brother. Hey, Captain Marvel. What's up, Daniel? And Semper Fi USMC vet. All right, that's all the people that's in here right now. So let's put that up there. So when I was doing this, when I was setting this stuff up, or speaking and looking into things, we got into a conversation, and I was like, "Oh, so you one of them people that fix credit stuff, right?" And the thing is, if you have questions, is that me?
Can you hear me? Oh,
I can hear you.
okay.
Hey, what's up, Cornelius? Oh, I know what it is. Bam. Got it. That was me talking on my other thing. So basically, okay, Captain Marvel, Cornelius. All right. So basically, that's what's up, right? So I wanted to bring this up because I see a lot of things that's going on. I see a lot of bad habits that most of us are still having, and we need to get rid of them. I also see that we are being hunted, and I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. All right, there's my PayPal, me, my Cash App, my TikTok, my email. Y'all know the deal. All right, check the description box. Like a lot of information that y'all want from me is already in the description box. Okay. Um, so y'all know, and she is the first. So she's making history, at least on my channel.
I'm honored.
And trust me, outside of if Bertha ever want to show up and have something to say, she could always have something to say. But outside of that, and Megadon, of course. I wonder. Well, Megadon, she's in the Dominican Republic, so yeah. Hey, what's up, David Bowman? Okay, so that's what's going on. Um, so I'm doing this because a bunch of things happened to me this trip, and this is going to be kind of a testimonial and a how-to at the same time. All right. So a bunch of things happened to me on this trip. On this trip, all right. On this trip, I lost some things. My phone was stolen. By an Uber driver. I was hit by a motorcycle. Um, what else? Um, the the machines. Let's see. What's this? What's this? What's this? Okay, this is where I want to go. All right. So we're going to get into this in a sec. All right. So the machines, right? When we talk about um what was going on and why this is going to be so important, because the machines did not allow for me to withdraw money, and because it couldn't convert the money, it took money out. It took money out of my bank machine back here in Texas, but it didn't give me no reals, right, or hash, right. It didn't give me none of that, right. And so that, dare I say, was an issue. Okay, that was an issue. All right. And so basically, let me see what happens now. Hold on for a second. Interesting. So basically, what was going on is that as a result of all of this, I started to understand that I need to talk to you in such a way because I am in a place that most of you are not. Okay. And what I mean by that is two things was significant for me. And it's the reason why when I speak on these issues, I do not address y'all from my point of view. All right. If you go to Brazil and the same thing happened to you and you have no credit card, you're going to be SOL. Me, not so much. because the people that I took care of for a while took care of me. They do that a lot. Y'all know my thug gangster friends, the brothers, right? And especially the tall one. He always rubbing his stomach, asking me for money. Always rubbing his stomach. Hey man, they always asking me. All right, but one time, I didn't have no reals. All right, I didn't have no hash. Hash is plural. Real is singular. All right, and it's not real. It's hound. But anyway, so with my friends, these are the type of friends they'll beg when they think I have. Right? They'll always ask me for money. But one time I wanted some reals I wanted some hash to leave a tip. So the Uber app is tied to one of my credit cards, right? And so I had the money to pay for it, and he thought I didn't have any money at all, right? So I'm like, I've been lending this dude some money, but he pulls a bunch of money out of his pockets. He said, I got a lot of money here. You need this, right? And these are the kind of people I deal with, right? Do you need this? And he was about to give me as much money as I needed, right? But I didn't need it. I told him I didn't need any. I just wanted a little change to leave a tip. And if I don't have that, then I'm not going to leave anything. That's the basis, right? Now, the work that I did in the NGO, right? So that comes back because someone was like, no, I wanted to convert. I had $60. I wanted to convert that into reals because I needed reals. I didn't really need it for myself either, because for myself, I was good. I could just really do things that I could just use my credit card for. But y'all know I like to eat with the street vendors, and some of the times when I see the children, so I like to have that so I can pass it out when I see them brothers on their hustle and stuff, right? Or some of the vendors require reals if you're going to negotiate, right? And so, and she just gave them to me, and I said she didn't want my dog. She's like, you give so much, right? That's the position I'm in. That's not going to work for the average traveler. Y'all going to be SOL, right? Now, I'm making this statement, and I put this title like this for a reason. I had money in reserves that almost left for somebody to steal, but I have money in reserves, right? And the reason I'm able to build enough that even when I lose stuff, so my phone was stolen, didn't have any reals, the bank kind of took money from my account but didn't give me what I needed, and they didn't give me anything at all. So all this stuff happened, but I was covered. Even when I got back here, say that I would have had a problem. I had another move to make, which I almost destroyed. I had another move to make that I would have had instantly money in my account within 3 days, like a large sum. All right. But none of that was necessary because I was able to use my credit cards for almost everything that happened up until Selma gave me some more reals. All right. One of the pitfalls that I've seen a lot of brothers do, so I met some brothers over there, they fall for the Brazilian, oh, they'll throw it at you, right? And they come back broke. All right. If they get into any type of trouble, it's over. All right. Here's the other thing. You got all these people apologizing to you that don't really want a relationship. They see the writing on the wall the same way we do. All right. And you need to be careful with getting with all of this. And I was just discussing, I'm not going to pick a woman from the back of herself. All right. I'm not even interested in a woman that introduces herself to me from her back. You know that take a look over the back photo. Look at me. I got a big this. All right. No. All right. In most cases, brothers, y'all see the picture. In most cases, fooling around with that ain't going to get you nothing but a child support check. Period. A lot of the things that's taking our resources away that we can't build is self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted. We now know that many of these women are only after our money. All right. So many of us brothers, we're in a bad way because we go to beaches, right? And we spend all our money on this. I mean, a lot of money. All right. We let dudes talk us into, oh man, you ain't doing nothing because you broke. You broke because you ain't spending half your paycheck on a black woman. And they'll tell you a black woman because that's the only one they will allow you to talk to. Understand, they will allow you because you ain't no damn man. All right. So I want y'all to understand this. So what I see is behind these women and behind errors that we made, a lot of us are in financial trouble. That's why I got this sister here. All right. I can tell you why it's happening, but I'm not, and I can tell you how not to get there so your credit will end up like mine. All right. She's here for the dudes that got into so deep that you kind of need more of a quasi professional side to get out. All right. Remember, y'all spend your time chasing after all of this, and half the time it's fake. It's not real. All right. And as it ages, it starts falling to the knees. Yep, that big badunkadunk is up high now. It'll fall to the knees, especially if they don't have the money to get the surgery to keep it aloof. That's something y'all need to think about. Hmm. That's something you need to think about. That's interesting. That's really something y'all need to think about. All right. And the reason why y'all need to think about it is this is what's getting a lot of brothers in trouble. They will give money to this on Instagram before they help anybody out. And now that the hammer is starting to fall, a lot of stuff is going on, and a lot of dudes are not aware of what's really going on. They don't know much about the dude in Uvalde. They don't know much about the dude, the police interaction, and all the rest of that stuff in Uvalde. They don't know about the dude and the actual security guard, the significance of that. The FBI agent that allegedly had a conversation with the dude in Buffalo, New York, a half hour before he went and did what he did. All right. So a lot of stuff is coming out, and a lot of dudes is still running around chasing after this, messing up their money. So here's the thing: you're going to need your money to get you and yours out. You need a plan. You need a passport. Everybody that I'm cool with or anybody I'm interested in, that's the first thing I'm asking them. Got a passport. All right. Reason being, if we need to check out, if I need to check family members out, all right, I don't want to have to like, oh, I wonder if, right? But our money got to be right. Our credit got to be right to get our money right. All right. And so now this is where um, Sister Khadijah comes in. All right. I'm telling y'all, this is fake. A lot of this is fake. As a matter of fact, most of it is fake, right? So as we discuss these finances, y'all know where I stand on biblical principles. Remember, we're supposed to be a steward, right? You know that I stand on the principles, overarching principles, that we do not co-sign anything. And I stand on this, that your credit is your name for men. That's the way we have to understand it. So when somebody see my credit score, they see a man whose word is good. That's how you have to look at your credit. So how do you get it to where your word is good? And that's where the sister come in. All right. When somebody look at my credit score, they know I'm gonna pay them back. They know my history. My credit score is an overarching thing of my history, right? So basically, especially when I went to buy the car, they didn't need to see bank statements. They said the dude, and it was and this was the sad part. It was a 19-year-old brother, and he said, I've never seen a black man with triple eights. And I said, huh. All right. Now, where I got the car from, they sell nothing but high-end cars. But I didn't know that because I looked under TrueCar online, and the cheapest car that I wanted, that's where it was. All right. Or I went up with the other thing I did was I already had a cashier's check, like ready to be given to them from USAA, right? Already. So I didn't need their money, and now they're bidding lower interest rates and this, that, and the other to lend to me, like 1.8%. Oh, they gave you 2%. We'll give you 1.8. We'll give you 1.6%. Instead of saying, oh, yeah, I can get you into this car. I don't ask for payments. What my payments is. I don't care what my payments are. I care what the interest rate is. All right. So with that said, we're going to zip through this real quick. Hey, what's up, Zimaloo? Um, hey, what's up, masculinity? Who else bumped in? All right, Cornelius. I don't know if I got you. Hey, Daniel, what's going down? All right, let's see who else bumped in. And then I am going to bring the beautiful sister here on. All right. Passed by JJ's fish. Oh Lord, yeah. All right. So when I go to when I go to Georgia, what's up, Kangaroo? And I meet up with the brothers. I take everybody to J&J's Chicken with lemon pepper wings in the freeze cup. Boy, y'all don't know that lemon pepper. I'm gonna copy it. Okay, so it's King Groove. All right. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That is a good memory. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, fix a flat. Yep. All right, and we'll deal with this last comment here because I don't know why we're looking at behind it. If you can't see through a woman's eyes, how you know that it's something worth it, right? That's why I mean I've always been a face person. I've always been a breast, wings and a breast, wangs and a breast. All right, but I've been more of a face person. That's what catches my attention, right? And so, yeah, no, I ain't down for all that. Your body's so bootylicious. No, heel to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Sing with me, hell no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. All right. So, all right, let's get back to this. And so now I'm gonna bring on the star of the show. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. But I just got rid of that. Oh, okay, I'll just do this. Nope. Nope. I'll just get remove. There we go. Stop screen. Okay. So go ahead. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, sis.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I am feeling the pressure. So, so what's up, everybody? Good evening. My name is Khadija Mutakai Beer. I know it's kind of long, but Khadija Mutakai Beer is my name, and financial counseling is my game. No.
Oh, she rhyming. Look, go ahead.
So I am from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised, and just probably like most of you, my parents, worked in, blue collar jobs. They worked hard for their money, but they really didn't teach me much about like credit or things like that. So it was maybe in undergrad where I took my first personal finance class, and it really drew an interest. I'm like, this is some interesting and good information. And after graduation, I did have the opportunity to start working in banking. So I worked in a credit union. And as far as the credit union that I started, I'm sorry. As far as the credit union I started to work at, I was able to learn the basics of personal finance. I was able to learn banking and different things like that financial institutions have to offer. I started working with doing loans, auto loans, personal loans, credit cards, and it was information that I was able to teach myself so I could learn how to build credit. Fast forward a few years later, I was able to obtain another job at a different credit union. But instead of just doing, regular transaction like accounts and things like that, I was able to learn specifically how to do loan applications. So structuring loan applications, understanding how to read credit reports, and really understanding how to structure loans and basically try to advise and help people with their whatever their situation was. Um, so I spent about 7 years working in the credit union industry, doing loan applications, denying, unfortunately, a lot of people. And after so many years of denying people, I was like, okay, I'm tired of telling people they're denied. How do I help people get approved? So it was
Let
kind
me ask you this question real
of,
quick.
mhm.
Why? What were some of the major reasons people were denied? That,
That's the
and let me add this caveat:
question.
people that came in that just knew they weren't going to be denied because they knew what they thought. What was some of the main reasons that they were denied?
So some of the main reasons that people were denied was, of course, right off the top, I can think of my head, debt to income ratio. So, for instance, they did not have enough income for how much debt that they had, and in order to take on another loan. So, debt to income ratio was definitely one of those main things. Another thing that I would commonly see is medical collections. A lot of people will have medical collect like small little tiny $25 medical bills, or tiny little medical collections or small collection items from back in the day. Those type of things will get people denied. And I would say another big one that I would see a lot is what we would call limited credit experience, meaning like somebody might have a 700 credit score, but they didn't have a long enough or diverse enough credit. So off the top of my head, those is kind of the
Okay. Oh, I'm just writing. You see me writing?
No, I don't see you right.
Don't pay attention to me.
Okay.
You're on by yourself, right?
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So
Hold on, you said debt to income.
debt to income ratio,
Debt to income.
limited credit experience, medical collections,
Uh-huh.
and then the fourth one I would say is high utilization of their revolving lines, like their credit cards, meaning that the balances on the credit card compared to the limit, it was a little excessive. So those I would.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so after that, like I said, I wanted to just kind of get the information on how could people get approved. So I started to learn how to read people's credit report. I would go over to our underwriters and, really ask them like, okay, explain to me, why is this person denied? And I guess the reason I did that is because in order for me to be able to explain to the person, I needed to understand why. So I spent a lot of time just trying to understand the why behind people being denied. And then from there, I took some training and took a course to become a certified financial counselor, to be able to basically advise people outside of my job. And I wanted to come up with something to help people get approved, because like I said, I was constantly telling people they weren't approved, and then they would say, okay, well, why? And then I give them the information, and it was like, okay, in one ear and out the other. Because I mean, if you can't tell me what I to get approved, I don't really care why I'm denied. I'm just mad I don't have the money. So um so that's kind of how people were. And I would try to advocate for people if I felt like maybe it was something like they had maybe limited credit history, but they maybe had the money. Or if it was people that look like me, I would try to, even though I was over the phone, you can kind of hear when people look like you. So
Yeah.
I would try to help out those who I felt really needed a chance, or whatever. And then outside of work, I established a business, a financial counseling business, to be able to do this outside of work. Unfortunately, it did cost me my job, but I felt passionate about being able to give people the information on how they could get approved. And since my job didn't want to give me that opportunity to do it within their parameters, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do it within my own parameters. So I basically have been working over the last 2 years, again, just solidifying how to improve credit. Now I know how to read credit. Now I know how to understand why people are denied. I went from there with research and doing a lot of digging to see, okay, the laws, or debt collection laws, or Fair Credit Practice Act, those different types of laws and things, to be able to understand as a consumer what rights you have against these entities and these businesses. So that's kind of where I'm at. And
Okay.
yeah.
So, quick question. So, if you was to break down the people that was coming in for credit, what's the for us, how does that break down between men and women?
Good
Is it
question.
mostly women or mostly men?
So in my experience, what I found was, I'm gonna give it men and women, and then I'm gonna go as far as like relationship status, because that also made a difference too.
Okay, go ahead.
In my experience, it was typically the men who had more money,
Mm-hmm.
and the women typically had better credit scores.
Okay.
Um, Definitely married couples, the women usually had the higher credit score, and the husband made the income. And when it came to like single people, or people who had ones on their credit report, it was sometimes hit or miss. You will find people that had good credit, good income, but
Mm-hmm.
majority of the time it would be one or the other.
Why do
Um,
you think the women have higher credit but less money?
when it came to the married couples, I think it was because a lot of the time they were usually housewives or stay-at-home mothers.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the
And so
membership.
the man is taking care of the bills. And so because he's spending all his money on the bills, all right, his credit goes down. But because she's not spending no money on anything, her credit stays up.
Correct.
Okay.
And the thing that I also liked when it came to married couples was sometimes because the man made more of the money, he did have more of the things in his name. But
Uh-huh.
when it came to a situation like, okay, he needs a higher credit score to get a better interest rate, then he would add his wife on and it would be good.
Okay, gotcha.
So it was things like that. Generally it was older people, like maybe 45 and older, or maybe I would say maybe 50 and older, who had higher credit ratings, things like that. um
Mhm.
and the younger crowds of people, they would come. Sometimes they would have good credit scores, sometimes good income, but they would come to get loans for things that may not have been necessary. So
Okay.
yeah.
So this is one of the things that I know too,
Hmm.
especially when you're buying a home, right?
Hmm.
That and brothers, y'all got to understand this, and we got to prioritize. One of the things that I would say is we got to watch the women we pick, and this is what I mean by this. If a woman can't get with your program, and what I mean by the program, they're saying date within your income. The women are telling men, the black women, the only ones telling their men this, are telling Afro men to date within your income, meaning that a woman that's high maintenance, you should not try to talk to her, right? Because you're not in her income. She's above you. But I'm going to say this, she is not above you. She's lower than everybody. Look at her. She got to put all that stuff on to think she's looking better than this woman. And she got to look like a clown. But when she looks like a clown, we see that she's a clown. I mean, because she got on clown makeup. We look at the uniform. She has the uniform of a 304. I mean, we look at the uniform, right? And so that's how they try to get you to one, no more dating to impress. We shouldn't be dating anyway, right? You see somebody you like, you make your move. Ain't no dating. The dating comes after the relationship is solidified. Then you start going out and doing all that stuff. It's done like that everywhere in the world but here. Yes, actually, yes. Even in even in Portuguese. In Portuguese, with máscara. Máscara is the same as clown in Portuguese, right? Makeup is the same as clown. As a matter of fact, I didn't when they were saying this, um, I couldn't tell the difference if they were saying clown or makeup. And then then I had to look at context. All right, because well, I work around children, so we have people come in as clowns. But then there's a lot of female there that wear makeup, right? So I mean, I should, hey, all right. And so that's basically it, right? And so I wanted to go back to debt to income. Can you elaborate on that? Because I want them to understand this,
Yeah.
right? And tricks that they can use to fix it.
Okay. So yeah, so basically debt to income is the total amount of monthly expenses that show on your credit report. So your credit card, rent, car note, those type of things in comparison to your gross monthly income. So when we would complete loan applications, we would ask, what is your gross income? And that can kind of be a gift or a curse. Because if you don't have a budget, or if you don't really know what your net income is, it'll kind of maybe mess up what your disposable income is each month. But when you're looking at a loan application, debt to income is basically saying, can this person afford to take on more debt? So if you pull a free copy of your credit report, or if you are looking at your credit report, every single monthly payment, you want to add all those up and divide it by your gross monthly income. And that is your debt to income ratio. Now, generally, when it comes to getting a loan, your debt to income ratio, we wouldn't approve it higher than 50% if you didn't have a housing or rental expense. But if you did, we wouldn't approve anything higher than 40%. So that, basically would mean, if 50% of your income is your expenses, you're not balanced.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So don't even try it until, and you shouldn't. So this is a good thing, because this is the advice I would give to this, right? Don't go for a loan, because she says 50%. If your debt to income ratio is that high, your bills, so is the total amount of money you make divided by your bills, right? And if half your money is your bills, right, then I wouldn't even go for a loan, because you're going to take a hit.
Correct.
On your credit. You're going to take a hit for something they're not going to approve.
Right. And that was almost immediately, like, even though I wasn't a underwriter, that was immediately one thing that if I saw that their debt to income ratio was off, I would just let them know, like, hey, do you have any extra income, or do you have someone that can bring extra income to this? And if not, I just want to give you a heads up that this might not be approved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, basically, and so don't even go through that, because that's another hit on your credit.
Correct.
That's a hard pull too.
Yes.
That's a hard pull. The other thing I was looking at the income, high utilization.
Yes.
Okay, explain that.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, so how they always say, oh, keep your credit card balance less than 30% or 30%. All of that, that's basically because of your credit utilization. Now, I know a lot of time, because people don't really know how to use credit cards, they kind of steer away or say, oh, I'm not getting credit cards. I'm not getting credit cards. But really, credit cards is the only way to continuously build your credit. And when it comes,
Hold on, let me stop you right there. I told you, I just want to put that out there in the thing. I kept telling y'all that, okay, go ahead.
yes, you need credit cards. And here's why, real quick. The reason that you need credit cards is because credit cards are what's called revolving open-end loans, meaning they don't have an end date. So you know how you would get a car and the term is 48 months, or you get a house, the term is 306 months. That ends eventually. So once that payment ends, that history is no longer. But with a credit card, it never closes. And so that open credit and that open, availability is what continues to help you build your credit. Now, when it comes to the utilization, let's say, for instance, you had a $15,000 limit on a credit card and you have a $14,000 balance. That's high utilization because that card is almost maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
And the quickest way to make your score decrease or make your score increase is by paying down a balance of that credit card. So a low utilization is a good thing because you have open and available credit. And basically what that looks like to lenders is, okay, this person has this much credit available, but they're only using this much. So they're responsible, or I can, trust them with getting a loan. So that's simply put how what that is.
Okay. Hey, Nisi Ross. Okay. We'll get into your thing later, Nisi Ross. Okay. So now this is a trick that I do is right now my utilization is at 9%.
Okay.
Okay. And so probably after this month, I'll be back down to below 6%, right? They say be under 10%, but that's neither here or there for me right now,
Yeah.
right? Because it really doesn't matter for the moment, right? Now,
Right.
the closer I get to getting ready to buy the house, I will just make sure all my stuff is just paid off except for my credit cards. All right. Now, with that said, I use my credit card strategically. Because my United card has no fees for using it when I'm outside of the United States, I use that, my USAA, or my Amazon cards, right? And I kind of alternate them based on when the payment is due.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the reason why I alternate them is because, like, if I have a $10,000 limit on one, right? So 10% is going to be
1,000,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that would be 10%,
right?
and that would be cool if that was the only card I was using. But I would split that up. Like, say I need to spend $1,000 on something like soccer balls.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get a bunch of soccer balls, and I think Texas Marines seen me do this. I have credit cards. I have credit that I use that if I pay it off within 6 months, then I don't accrue interest, right? Then I have my credit cards. All right. I will not take the 6 month thing if I don't know for sure, definitely I can pay it off in 6 months. But with my credit cards, I will split that $1,000 over 3 credit cards so that I will keep the utilization of each credit card under 6%. All right. That works for everything except for when you're buying a house. When you're buying a house, they look at everything differently.
Yeah.
That's why when I showed y'all my credit scores and show you the mortgage credit score, the one that the people use for mortgages, theirs are usually like 20% lower than everybody else. Okay, but I wanted her to discuss that because on the debt to income, I didn't know it went the way you explained it. I kind of had an idea of what I thought it was, but the way you explained it, that was different. What was that? And the medical stuff. Don't get hurt.
Right. Don't. But here's one thing to note, because sometimes you might forget that you had might have forgot that you had a bill or something, and then they put it on your credit. The good thing to note is, come July 1st, the bureaus are no longer going to report any medical collection that is $500 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is more than $500, they're not going to report it until a year after it went
non-payment.
Correct. Instead of, I think it was 6 months or something like that. It used to be.
Okay.
So
yeah, it used to be 6 months. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so now it'll be a year. But yeah, if anything, if you do have medical collections on there, technically, hospitals are not supposed to give your information to a third party because technically that's a HIPAA violation.
Yep.
So if you all are listening, if you have a medical collection that's on your credit, what you want to do is draft a letter to the credit bureaus and basically dispute the medical collection under the guise of you did not give this whatever XYZ doctor the permission to report any third parties, and doing so
Okay.
in violation of your HIPAA laws. So that's for the medical if anybody is in that position.
All right. So there's what I recommend for credit cards. I recommend they should get two. You should try for two credit cards, one Visa and one MasterCard, because of how I travel. And some places take Visa, some places take MasterCard. Most people outside the United States hate American Express. Just
Yeah.
keep it real.
Yeah.
Right. And in Brazil, it depends on what machine that they got. Some people have the yellow machines; they only take Mastercard.
Mm.
All right. Some people have the other ones, right, that take everything, right? And so that's why I say you get one or the other. If you I would not plan to travel at all. Okay. I would not plan to travel if you do not have a credit card. Period. I would not travel outside the United States if you do not have a credit card. All right. And brother Texas Marine, he told you some stories, right? All right. If you don't have no friends, where you going? You can find yourself in a world of hurt if you don't have a credit card. People say cash is king. Nope. Cash is king in the United States. Cash is king on the street there. But credit cards are actually really king is because they trust that.
Right. And the good thing about credit cards too, a lot of people might not realize is your credit card, depending on what or who the credit card is through, you might have a lot of extra stuff on there like fraud prevention, or you have the rights to dispute any unfamiliar charges on your credit card, like for your debt,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have that right. You know what I'm saying? So under the I think it's Fair Credit Billing Act.
And reporting it, yeah.
Yeah, Fair Credit Billing Act, as a matter of fact, you have the right to dispute any fraudulent charges or any charges that are unfamiliar. But on your debit card, you don't have that right. And it might take a lot for you to get the money back because with their debit card, usually you have to use a PIN number. So they're not quick to give you your money back with a debit card. So,
Uh-huh. All right. Oh, so Daniel, this is Khadijah. All right. Who is a financial expert that used to do loans in the bank. All
yeah.
right. She putting brothers on game. Why they get denied and stuff like that. And so that's it. Oh, you gotta catch this dude James Brown stuff. Yeah, Lord. He man. Okay. And so basically, what was that getting ready to say? Oh, so basically the thing is, I always say credit card because if you get in a jam, that's what gets you out. And I always say keep your balances low because you want to be able to get out the jam, and you don't want your cards maxed out.
Right.
You want the jam might max you out, but it'll get you out. But if you overuse your credit to the point where you can't get out, I feel sorry for you, right?
It's funny because work, I used to always say, you can't be broke and have bad credit. Like, you gotta choose a struggle,
Uh-huh.
would be people that will call and, they're like, oh, I need a loan because my car broke down and this and that. But then you pull their credit and the credit is jacked up. So it's like, I
I
can't.
can't help you.
And, you want to have both of them in line because both of them are important, your credit and your money. That's your financial foundation. But while you're trying to build up, you got to have one or the other. So if you know your credit messed up, at least you got some money, but you need to spend some of that money to get your credit fixed.
All right, and this is why. All right, so we get back to biblical principles that we are to owe no man. Do I have to bring that up? Do I have to bring up the script? Yeah. But we're not supposed to owe anybody. And what that means is you can borrow, but pay people back.
Right.
All right. And I try to tell y'all, we should pay our brothers back first. Pay the corporations back later. Because some of the times it's your brother that'll help you out of the bind. The corporations will never help you out of the bind. Okay. And so you always pay the brother back first, right? And then you start paying your stuff down before you buy anything expensive. Okay, before you buy anything expensive, you that's what you do. You pay your stuff down. All this money they put out, and a lot of people didn't even pay their rent.
Yeah.
Think about it. People got money from the government and decided, I got this money, so I'm not going to pay my rent. And now that they're getting kicked out, they want everybody to cry for them. And they like, oh, they're so mean. The landlords are so mean. And I'm like, no, you mean. You didn't pay this man rent the whole time you was there, and he knew you was getting money. And you said, F you, because you can't kick me out. And then when he can kick you out, you crying to the media. All right. No. And even if you can get away with that, we don't operate. We shouldn't operate like that. Some might, but we should not operate like that.
Right.
Okay. Not in the least bit. We should never, as brothers, operate like that.
Now let me just add, now if you do find yourself, okay, you have a loan or whatever, and you can't make the payment, or something is going to come up and you won't have the money for the due date. Okay, the first thing is always check to see what the grace period is, because sometimes you do have a grace period before you have to pay any late fees or anything like that. And the other important thing to note is it won't hit your credit until 30 days. So even if you are going to be late, you might suffer a late fee, but just know that you want to make that payment before that 30-day mark, because that's when it'll come on your credit as a late payment, and that'll really, take a hit against your credit.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
yeah, so 30 days is that kind of magic number. So you might get a late fee if it's past the grace period, but you won't have to worry about it hitting your credit unless it's beyond 30 days.
Okay.
Another thing that I want to say is that a lot of people didn't know, but we would have things called skip a pay or defer a payment or something of that nature, loan forgiveness. Always try to do things proactively. So if you know you're going to be late, or if you know you won't be able to make that payment, try to reach out to the creditor beforehand, because it's always better to try to get ahead of things, and they'll be more willing to work with you. And you could do things like a skip a pay, where like at my job, it was $35. You'll pay a $35 fee to be able to advance your payment to the next month if you knew it was going to be a situation and you weren't going to be able to make that payment. So those are things that, you want to keep in mind, so you don't have to worry about the headache of your credit getting dinged, your score decreasing, and all of that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, ooh. So you remind me of something. The other thing you do, like if you have credit cards, you can you can do it once per card, right? But you can move the payment date.
Right. Some places allow that too. Not yet.
You can move the payment date, and you can be like, "Oh, I ain't gonna have it on the first." And I don't know. I can't. There's just a different amount of time. Some people have 15 days. or 30 days, you can move it
Right.
up or back, right? And so you could be like, yeah, I ain't gonna have that, man. You ain't paid. So you be like, hey, can I move this ahead to the because my pay date changed?
And actually, now that you mentioned that, that just reminded me too. When you're getting, like, for instance, a new auto loan, we will be able to move the due date as far as the first due date, as far as 60 days out. So
Okay.
that's a good benefit. If you're in a business for, getting a new car, if you go directly to your financial institution to get the loan, generally you'll have a little more wiggle room. And one of those wiggle rooms is telling them, you know what, can you push my due date out 30, 60 days?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you want the new ride, but you don't want to turn around and make a payment that quick.
Uh, she's right. My banks do that.
And
I have a credit union and a USA, but yeah, my banks do that. They hey, we can move this out. I'll be like, all right, cool.
yeah, and even if they don't mention it, never be afraid to ask, because sometimes they might, if you don't ask, they don't just assume that it's okay. So, hey, if you know that payment, you're like, okay, let me push that payment out a little bit. Definitely do that.
Hmm. What's up, David? So hey, if y'all have any questions, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let me do this. So if you have any questions, there's two ways we can do this, right? If for those of you that have the Facebook, all right, that's one of the reasons I like playing the music at first, because I know you all heard it. So those of you who have Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, y'all could call in using that, right? Those of you that want to pop in and ask a question, there's the link, bam, right there. All right. Y'all could hit up a link and it, all right. So if you have a situation, know somebody that have a situation, we can put the heads together and kind of um see what can be done about it. All
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Specific
All right.
question.
Now, and so especially if we're talking about getting the credit and
Like getting approved for a loan or.
yeah, getting approved for loans and stuff like that, because that was her thing. And some of the way she defined some of them things, like, yeah, so yeah, that's why I had her on, because I didn't know that. Like, um, the debt, I kind of understood the premise of it, but I really didn't know how that was defined. And so we got all this stuff, and it's Texas Marine on here, and so the reason why all this is this way is we looking to be able to bust a move. One of the things about being prepared and bugging out, how you going to bug out? You don't got no money to put gas in the car, or that's one. Or you want to bug out and you need to bug all the way out. You don't got no money to get on the plane. One of the best ways to get on a plane is get credit, right? Your credit card. You can pay it down over time, pay that interest, but you can pay it down over time. And you don't have that. And some of the times we are so unprepared for stuff because we don't know how to use money. And I told you that the goal isn't money, money is the tool.
Right.
All right. Your goal is what you want to do. Your money is how you're going to do that. Okay, go ahead, Texas Marine. You on?
Yeah, I heard my name mentioned earlier. I was in and out the door loading the truck, but yeah, I found out the hard way going out of Columbia with him that I wasn't ready,
Mhm.
but I had to learn the hard way. My credit story was I was good going to the Marine Corps, but what I thought was a wife put me on child support, and they put $80,000 debt on me with
Mm,
no payment activity for 15 years. So
mm.
it
Hold on,
took
let
me.
me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Not you, but her. Can he resolve that? Because There's got to. Is there a way out of there? That
It's off now. It's gone.
Yeah,
okay.
because I
They
know.
they
Oh,
they lifted it in 2016,
yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
but they put it on there in 96.
Mm,
Oh,
mm.
Yeah,
all right.
they
So what
put
was we going to say about that,
I was just
yeah.
Khadijah?
I was just gonna say that they did change that like you said, 2016, as a matter of fact. I believe
Thank you.
yeah, they stopped reporting tax liens and child support judgments. So that was
And that's the first year I got a tax refund since 1998.
oh
was,
and
20, was 2016. Yeah, everything lifted, but my credit score was like 3 something 400.
mm-hmm.
I just got it past 500. I'm taking the want the question because my credit score is horrible, but it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I got a one secure credit card just to start showing that I'm responsible,
Yes.
even though I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that first because I needed one to travel because it's safety net because them ATM fees really bit me when I came back from Colombia.
Yeah, yeah.
If it wasn't for him, I would have been stuck out because it was it was new.
Mm.
But is secure credit is like by any means is secure credit a good way to go to start building along with other stuff?
Yes, because I think your credit card is the best way to start building, because like I said earlier, when it comes to continuously building your credit, you need those credit cards. But when you're in a position where, like you said, you're repairing your credit or you're getting your credit back up, they might not always give you just a regular unsecured credit card. So the secure credit card is good because it allows you, like you said, to start establishing that positive payment history on your credit report. And when you look at the credit report, it'll show just like a regular credit card. Sometimes it might say secured. I know when I worked, it didn't show as a secure card. It just showed as a regular credit card. And
Mm-hmm.
6 months to a year of payment history, and as long as you maintain the rest of your credit, you should be able to go back to these people and say, all right, I worked on my credit, I've established my payment history, now can I get a regular unsecured credit card, which it should be the same credit card that you have, like the numbers or nothing should change, and they should just basically give you your money back. So
I did mine through my bank. I was gonna get one from both of my banks, which would make it easier because PNC basically said that's one of my banks. They said they'll transition you to a regular card after so much good payment, here's so much time. They'll transfer you to a regular card with a little bit higher limit after good reporting with the secured card.
yes, how long?
And Citibank's been saying the same thing. I haven't got PNC, but Citibank's been saying the same thing. I've had that for like 3 months, and it has ticked up. And they keep telling me you're on time, good payment history. They're telling me that because I make sure I don't do nothing else. They get their minimum payment.
Okay. Now, and what you want to do is double check and see what that time frame is. Is it 6 months? Is it a year? You know what I'm saying? Before they transition you into that car, so that way you can kind of know when to look forward to.
Got you.
All right.
All right.
Let me say this for the brothers that's in here, kind of how that worked. Because all right, so my first card came because I was at TSU and they was giving credit cards to all the students to keep them in debt. All right, to
I
keep
remember
them
that.
in
I
debt,
remember that.
mainly with their parents and stuff like that. But me, remember, I live based on the commandments. You pay back who you owe, right? And so I've never missed a payment on a credit card, right? I never missed it. And I got a long history. My second longest history is on my Walmart card, right? But my Walmart card started off as a store card. All right. And then the store card, after I was paying it, I was just using it only for gas. But after I was paying it, the store card turned into a credit card. And then and then my as a on that and my Amazon credit card, my my limit increases. I don't ask for an increase. My limit just increases. And so like it's crazy. My Amazon one of my cards, well, you already know which one it was. It went from I was like, okay, that's going to be my low card. It went from $1,000 to $18,000. limit.
Right.
Okay. Now y'all know I ain't spending no $18,000 to buy nothing from Amazon. Cause my regular pay don't say 18 plus $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? So I don't, just because it's there, but I like the fact that it's that high because it just
It builds your
um yeah, it just it keeps me in a comfortable spot. Like I spent a lot of money this time on the soccer balls, the trip, and because I took the keyboard was an extra $150. Okay, so and this whole trip was a lot more expensive, um, and so I'm not going to feel no pain from it. It's not going to mess my credit up because of how I use my cards, right? And so coming back, it's just that tomorrow or whenever I get paid, I just almost all my money is going to go to pay off that debt. All right, but here's the thing: because here's my trick. Because I exclusively use my credit card, it doesn't hurt me to use almost my entire pay to pay off debt for overusing or overspending more than I would have to. Because I use my credit cards exclusively because I know that at the end of the month, I use all my check to pay off the credit cards. It's money I would use anyway, and my credit cards make me money.
right.
It'll make me money if I keep doing that. So every 3 to 6 months, I'll get $100 from each credit card.
Right. And that was what I was gonna say too. You know, once you learn how to use credit and all of that, then yes, you want to look into something like a rewards card or something like that to be able to leverage, you know, your daily transactions that you're gonna do anyways and get points, or if you travel a lot, you know, miles or whatever it is. And that was something that I would see a lot too. Like when people, they would just, like you said, use their credit card, get the points, and then just pay it off at the end of the month. So, because again, a lot of time, once you learn how to utilize credit, it's better to use your credit card because you have more leverage and more rights as far as like disputed transactions or fraudulent, anything like that. Credit card versus your debit card, and that money is your money basically. You don't want nothing.
Mhm.
So,
Hey, Zimalu, go ahead. You on?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
hello.
Great. Good to hear y'all voice, man. Nice to meet you, Khadijah.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, thank you. I did have a question. I have two credit cards. I have a Visa and a MasterCard. And I had a quick question. So if I have uh, all of them like balanced, like no payments on them, I pay them off. Credit is low 700. I've heard, if I use it for gas here and there, pay it back off, so and so on and so forth, it'll increase it. But for whatever reason, for about a month or two, I haven't seen an increase. Is there something else that I'm not doing? Is there something else that I need to do in order to get the creditors to, push the score up? I check my scores on Credit Karma, by the way. So
Okay. Perfect. So that's a good question. I'm glad you asked because I was actually going to bring that up. So kind of what Reluctant Nabi was just saying, how he uses his cars frequently and then out of nowhere they just increased his limit. That is the advantage of using your credit card a lot. So the advantage of constantly using your credit card is they'll be able to see, oh, okay, this person used their credit card, they pay it off, and they'll kind of get an idea of your pattern. And then in turn, they'll, what I like to say, reward you for that by increasing your limit.
It's not a reward, by the way.
Right. Yeah, depending
It's
on
a trick.
depending on how you look at it. But
Oh, well, hold on. Let me say this real quick. Hold that thought. This is why I say it's a trick. It's a reward if you, again, follow biblical principles.
the discipline, yeah.
Yeah, it's a discipline game,
right.
and they're testing your discipline. They jumped that thing up to $18,000. All right. And some people will go out and buy a car with their credit card. right? I'm not one of them people, right? They'll go out buy gold chains that I am not one of those people, right? So basically, um, yeah, it's a trick, but it can be a reward, but it's mainly a trick.
Yes.
It's testing your discipline.
Yes, that's a really great point, and that's why I said, it's important to understand how to use credit cards first, because people always say, "Oh, credit cards ruin your credit." No, it's the lack of discipline that ruins.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, so like I said, if you constantly are using that card, then they will in turn see that activity and in turn raise your limit, which would be helpful for what you're talking about, because increasing your limit increases your overall credit availability, which increases your credit score. Do that make
Okay. Yeah, it makes
okay?
sense.
It usually takes 6 months. I know that.
I was gonna say, so if you've been using your credit card, for instance, and you haven't seen an increase in your score per se, it's more than likely because your limit on your card is low.
Yeah.
So if in this case, let's just say, you started using it, like you said, every now and again or whatever, they'll be able to see that, and maybe over 6 months to a year, they will automatically increase your limit. But let's just say you want them to, you're like, I don't want to wait. I want them to increase the limit now because I want that increase in my score now. Then you will go reach out to them and ask them for a limit increase. Now, sometime it will be like they already have your information on file, so it might not require a hard hit on your credit. They'll just raise it. But sometimes, like for instance, when people will reach out and say, "Hey, I need to increase my credit limit because I got to go do X, Y, and Z," that was technically considered a loan application, so that would take a hard hit. So you wanna see,
You just want to ask them, hey, could you increase my limit?
and will that be a hard inquiry for you to raise my limit, or is it something that you guys can just review with the information on file and raise my limit? So yeah, so overall, like, to increase your credit score, you want to increase the available amount of credit that you have.
Okay. So if I'm understanding that correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, increase of the credit card limit comes first before the increase of a score of your
Yes.
credit. Okay. Okay. Because
Yep.
I recently just got an increase. They increased my visa by $1,000 at the beginning of this year.
Nice.
So yeah, I didn't know that. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and that's good. If they automatically increase it at the beginning of the year, then that means that you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're making your payments on time, and so just keep doing that, and they will continue to increase your credit. And that's something that I like to advise people, because a lot of time people think going out and getting a whole bunch of different credit cards to increase their overall credit limit is the best thing to do, but it's not. Keep whatever cards you have to a minimum and then ask them to raise those limits. And that's what will in turn increase your credit score.
Let me say this. I got a lot of credit cards, but the reason why I ended up with the credit cards was not because I applied for them, but everybody was giving me a deal to get their credit card. So a lot of times when people know, like, kind of where your score is, right? And so they'll come in and they'll say, if you have a card, if you're going to pay for something like if you're going to pay for something using your credit, they know they figure you probably have good credit, right? And they want you to use their card, right? But you don't have their card. You didn't know they had a card. And so they'll say, like Sears, oh, we got a Sears MasterCard. And if you apply for the Sears MasterCard, what, we will give you $100 off on this washer and dryer combo. Which that's actually how that happened for me. And so what am I going to do? I'll take the hit for $100. All right. Because one of the things is when your credit is high enough and you're secure enough in it, right? What happens is you don't care. Like, I don't care if my credit drop under $800. I'm $800 under 800 because it doesn't matter.
Right.
800 and I'm past 740 for a house. It doesn't matter. 750, 770 people. The 800s. I will say this: when you get past 800, people don't ask questions about your income.
Right.
When that's anything but a house. The house is the only thing that's different. That's a whole different other animal. But for anything, they see 800, 800, 800. They're like, I'll be like, and my income is, oh, we don't need to see that. That's what they literally say. Hey, what's up, Greg? All right. And so basically, this is the thing. If somebody's giving you a deal, so all the credit cards I had was because somebody was giving me a deal. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Zimolo.
Sorry about that, guy. I dropped off.
Okay.
That's okay.
And then one other thing that you mentioned, you said you use Credit Karma. So I want you to use create a free account. And this, everybody on here, if you don't already have one, create a free account through Experian.com. And the reason why I would like for y'all to create an account through Experian.com is because the credit monitoring sites like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, those give you your Vantage score. And
what's the difference?
Yep, perfect. I'm glad you said that. And since even though a lot of the lenders are starting to use the Vantage score, very important to know your FICO. So the difference between the two, simply put, your FICO score is the information directly from the credit bureau itself. So Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Though the FICO score is the credit score that they generate with the information that they only have at whoever is looking at it. Your Vantage score is basically a summary of the information that all three of the credit bureaus have. I generally look at Credit Karma or Credit Sesame. The credit score is going to be higher because that's your Vantage score. But then if you went to a lender and they pulled your credit report, they will be looking at your FICO score.
Oh, and that's why a lot of people think their score is high, and when they get to the lender,
yes,
they be like, "No, your score is garbage."
And I had that a lot of times, and sometimes it would be even like a 50-point or 100-point difference.
That's major.
Yeah.
I was told something different. Because I have a credit union, and the lady I usually work with there, she told me, I told her I use Credit Karma, and she told me that usually the Credit Karma score was actually lower than what my actual score was, because she pulled the credit, and I think at that time, this was about a few years ago, it was like 720 something, but she ended up telling me it was actually 750 something. So I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's both ways.
Okay.
But y'all are both saying is they're not accurate.
Correct.
Right.
Here's the thing too, because when it comes to stuff that's reported on your credit, a lot of the time what we have to remember is it's all business. It's all a money game. So these places are paying the credit bureaus to report information. So sometimes, your TransUnion score might be higher than your Equifax score because TransUnion report might not have everything on it that your Equifax credit report, or vice versa. But
somebody just mentioned that.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. My Equifax as well. That was the other one. My Equifax and Experian.com are the two that you can check your FICO score for free. And I know that Experian, you can do the 7-day trial where you can see all three of your scores right from Experian.com. So if you want to do that, you can do the 7-day trial, or you can just make a free account on each one. It's completely up to you, but I do like that is free. And then the other resource, and I have a PDF that I created that I will send to you so you can send out to everybody.
Okay. We'll put it in the description box of this video.
Okay, yes. And
at the top.
Perfect. You'll be able to pull this up and it'll be a downloadable PDF and it'll have clickable links where you can find some credit monitoring, and I'll just give a little bit of tips on like how to, continue to build your credit. But FICO and Vantage Score, like I said, the Vantage Score is becoming more popular, but the FICO score is more accurate because it's the information directly reporting to each of the credit bureaus.
And that's going to be the one that the banks and auto loan people and the mortgage people are going to use. They're going to use your FICO.
Correct. And I know the last thing that I'll say on that is I know it's a lot of different even scores that you can have as a FICO score, but what I like to stress to people is don't get caught up in, oh, is it this model? Is it that model? Just make sure that everything on your credit report is accurate, because regardless of what the score is, the information on your credit report is what's going to calculate the score. So just make sure you're focusing on things being accurate across the board. And that way you can kind of have an idea of what your score is.
All right. And let me add this. So y'all remember the things where I'm playing with the thing, because y'all know I use Experian, right? And we're playing with the thing like, what would happen if I miss a payment? What would happen if this? But when y'all look at my score and I take y'all down and remember all those arrows in green, never missed a payment in this many, never missed a payment, never had this, don't have any bankruptcies, don't have this. That payment history is, and I get emails about my payment history. All right. That payment history is the thing that puts you over the top. When they see that your payment history is excellent, right? And over years, like years, all right, then that moves your credit up. And so, like I said, it's your name. It's your name. And so when they see me, Nabi, they say, oh, yeah, you can trust his word. He paid people back.
Yeah, I want to add to that because that kind of happened to me at the end of what was that, 2019. I had lost my job in 2019, and I had to use whatever I had on my credit card, which was at a $500 limit at the time. And I haven't used it in a while, so when I tried to use it, I found out it was closed. So I called my credit union, and she got with the creditor, the lenders, and she got back to me so fast. She said, "Yeah, they said it was closed because of you didn't use it and it was low, but they looked at your payment history and said, oh, because you have such excellent payment history, we're going to go ahead and open your the credit card back up for them." I said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's good too, because that's the importance of having a relationship with a financial institution as well. You know what I mean? Like you probably had direct deposit and stuff going in, so they could see all of that to be able to make that decision to open that card up. So that's actually another piece that I want to say regarding your question that you asked earlier. Say for instance, you don't want to use the card every day or whatever, you do want to make sure that you at least swipe it every so often to avoid it being closed. But contrary to what people believe, even if you never swipe the card, every single monthly report, it'll still be reported as an on-time payment if you have a zero balance. But you want to make sure you at least swipe the card so it doesn't go dormant or be closed, like you said, due to inactivity.
Right. And here's the other thing too. Like when you got one or two cards, like I have so many, right? So the only cards I care about is the ones I use the most, the oldest one, and the one with the most money on it.
Right.
And that's basically it. And so if I'm gonna swipe a card, if I'm gonna make sure it's going to be the $24,000 card every once in a blue moon,
right?
Be like, hey, I'm here. And it's a lousy card. It's the Kroger card. They're lousy. You don't get. They be like, "Oh, I got it because for the first 3 months, it was good, getting that gas deal. But then Kroger gas is way higher than everybody else, so that even when you getting a deal, it ain't a deal." So I was like, "Oh, I ain't using this thing anymore." But I use it to go to Kroger's. So when I go into Kroger's, I pay with the Kroger card, maybe once or twice a year.
Right. And that way, like you said, to avoid it being closed. So yeah. So yes, and the one thing, I guess another thing that I wanted to mention is kind of what makes up your credit score. Since we were talking about payment history, that's the biggest piece. So 35% of your credit score is payment history. So that's why if you miss one payment, your stuff is taking a hit. And that's why I said earlier, if you know that you're going to miss a payment or you're not going to be able to, try to get ahead of it, because you don't want that thing to go 30 days past due and then take a hit on your credit.
Yeah.
The amount that you owe or your balances is 30% of your score. So, as you, for instance, like if you have a car loan, it's $20,000 or whatever. As you pay that balance down, it affects your score less and less, but the balance is the amount that you owe is a big piece of that. And I guess that's too why your credit cards, the balance compared to the limit is so detrimental to your score, because it's 30% of your score. How old is your credit? That's 15% of your score. So you want to make sure you have, you don't want to close any super old accounts or, anything like that. You want to keep that, because again, that goes into that payment history. So if you have, 5 years of payment history, but then you close that card, that's going to take a hit on your credit a little bit. And then new credit is 10% of your credit score. So you want to try to avoid excessively applying for loans, because you don't want to have all those hard inquiries on your credit report, because that again makes up 10%. And then the types of credit that you have. So if you have credit cards, if you have an auto loan, personal, mix it up, because the diversity of your credit counts for 10% of your credit score. So, and again, this will be all on the little PDF that I'll have him linked to the bottom, but just want to keep that in. Payment history is the biggest chunk of your credit score, payment history and how much your balances are.
Understood.
So I hope that answered that. I hope that answered that question for
Hey,
you.
you asked my question. Appreciate it.
You are welcome.
I want to chime in on something you said about what's on your credit. It made me reflect back, because when I said, I was a TSU like Nabi. That's why I got my Discover card. Right before I went in the ring, I got a Discover card. I thought I was just balling. Got my Discover card. I'm in California. I'm good. and because I was in the Marine Corps, they gave everybody a Radio Shack card. But I had an allotment with the minimum payment going to my cards every month. I got out. I still have my cards. 96, that $80,000 debt got hit on my credit. I didn't know for the first 4 years. And that's where he said, know what's on your credit report.
Right.
I went to the Nissan dealership, David McDavid, down on 45 South here in Houston, get me a little Nissan truck. At the first time buyers program. They said, bring $1,500. Well, they didn't tell me. They said, well, your credit's all right. You got to pay, but there's some stuff on there that's just, it's back. I'm like to myself, like, what? I ain't did nothing.
Right.
Didn't know that was sitting there. So instead of $1,500, I had to put $5,000 down. Just to get the payments to $250.
Yeah.
Because they said my debt to income was not liking each other, and I didn't understand why.
And that was why, because that large put on
that was it. That was 4 years, $80,000, no activity, no payment activity.
Wow.
Hey, look at the question.
Okay.
Can you see the question?
If a bank or a credit union is a better option for credit cards. Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question.
I wanted to ask that too.
That's a great
Credit union.
And I have an answer too. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
So of course, because my history is in credit unions, I'm always going to be biased and say credit unions. But technically speaking, credit unions, I would say, are better options for credit cards or lending, period. Because with credit unions being owned by the people who are members, generally credit unions have better interest rates as far as loans, and they have lower or lesser fees in compared to a bank. So in my opinion, I would always say a credit union is better for lending and a bank is better for investing.
Okay, let me say this. All right, I'm going to disagree with her on this for this reason. It depends on who you are and how you use your credit card. All right. Everything she said is absolutely correct. The lowest interest on all my cards I got is from the credit union. So the question is, why don't I use my credit card from the credit union? Because I don't. I'll use that every once in a while, but I don't use the credit card from the credit union. And there's a reason for it. I don't make any money off of it. All the banks, so the bank, Chase, I have Chase Freedom, and all my other cards give me cash back. Chase Freedom gives me the best cash back. So when I'm in the United States, that's the one that I use. All right. If I'm on Amazon, I use the Amazon one, because on Amazon, if I buy something on Amazon, that gives me the best of everything. If I just only bought on Amazon, I will only use Amazon, right? All right. And so the reason why my credit union is not the best, because I pay all my cards down to zero at the end of the month. So if I paid a credit union card down to zero, I'm not going to get any money. I'm not going to get any rewards from it. And most credit unions, in the trade-off for the very low interest rate. Now, if I ever get into a bind, that's the credit card I'm going to use, right? If there was a credit card I'm going to use and make payments on, right? If I say, okay, I need to buy this thing or this emergency ticket, right? And I know that I have to take this hit, right? If I have to take a hit, I'm gonna take the credit card. I'm gonna use the credit card to buy that ticket, because I know I'm gonna have to take on. Now it's going to turn into a loan. I'm not going to make any money, right? But the other ones, their interest rate is 5 points higher than the credit card. Than the credit union. So I'm gonna use the credit union for that. So it depends.
Right.
For money making, like she said, that's the way you can look at it. I use my other credit cards for everything, but I'll use my credit union credit card for an emergency.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'll use that for an emergency is I will still pay all the rest of those cards down to zero, but I will make the payments on that credit union card until I can get rid of it.
And I don't disagree with that at all. That's it does depend on what you're using the card for. So yeah, like you said, if you are, know that you're the person that pays it off every month and you're taking advantage of the rewards, absolutely a bank would be better, because they generally do have better perks. But if you're a person that's just starting off with credit, or like you said, you trying to do something over a course of months, do the credit union, because it will have lower interest rate. Maybe not have an annual fee or anything like that. So
no, they won't have the annual fee. So they're good for like that. The credit union card, they're good for people, and they're easier to get.
Yes.
They're easier to get. That's the advantage of the credit union. That's why I say everybody should have a credit union and a bank.
I agree.
So what y'all saying is, for somebody like me that's getting this credit back in, almost like beginning, the credit union is a preferable way to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Because
no, AIG just offered me the letter to join their credit union. It's not their credit union, but it's a credit union that's affiliated with them that gives people that work there an easier way in.
okay.
Yeah, always. Yeah, yeah. If they, oh yeah, yeah. Get the credit union. You always go for the credit union.
Okay.
Yeah, just on a basic level. I used to bank with Bank of America a while back, and I didn't like waking up checking my account and $25 maintenance fee gone. So I got me a credit union and have it turned back. But
Yeah.
if it's beneficial to get a bank, which one do you guys recommend?
It is never better than. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just be real. I got a regular bank, but my bank is USAA. All right. If you served any time in the military, have somebody
Yeah.
that is, if you're going to get a regular bank, that's the one you get.
Yeah.
That's the only one you get. If you have a choice between a bank and the credit union, I will always go for the credit union over the bank.
And
All
I
right.
and I was gonna say I don't know if I know Navy Federal is a good credit union. I don't know
Yeah.
all military. Is that all military people?
Yeah.
Navy Federal is not all military.
Okay.
Well, it's Navy and Marine Corps now because they got rid of Marine Federal Credit Union. They just made it Navy now.
Okay. So
And Navy Federal is the only one. Like all the Air Force. I have the Air Force one. Navy Federal is the only one where people outside the military can join it.
Okay, so I have a regular one called First Mark. You guys recommend me checking out Navy Federal?
Check it out. Always check stuff out. Nothing
yeah.
hurts checking things out and learning.
And here's the thing, when it comes to, trying to choose a financial institution, like you said, ask about fees. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all have any maintenance fees? Is it any minimum balance fees? You know what I'm saying? Ask about those things.
Mm-hmm.
Gauge is beneficial to you or not. And when it comes to lending, ask them, what are y'all interest rates? What credit bureau do y'all pull from? Those type of things is what you want to ask. And in my experience, I think the credit union is a little bit more personable, because sometimes people will pick up the phone and call multiple times and they would get me every time. You know what I'm saying? Because it was people that worked in our lending call center. But if you call Bank of America, you could be talking to anybody every time you pick up the phone. So it's
in another country even.
Exactly.
I was hold on, what was it? What's up? Oh, what's up, young boy 24? And what's up, Banana Booey? So hey, Backwoods Rider, what's going on? Okay. So
it's out.
go ahead.
I'm gonna actually, in this thing, I'll link a link to where you can look up the state that you live in and then find like credit unions in that area. So you can have a list of, if people looking for any those type of resources.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Oh, and here's one more thing that I want to say about credit unions. Credit unions also offer things that you might not even think of. Like, they offer, like at the credit union I worked at, they offered coin machines. You could go in and talk to a financial advisor about investing. You could go about a trust account. So those are different things, that people, when you think of your credit union or something, you might not think of, but banks might charge you for those type of services. Those are offered free within credit unions. What I do, financial counseling, sometimes credit unions have financial counselors inside the credit union to help you improve your credit. So those are definitely things that you, want to ask about or inquire and see if they offer those type of services for free to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I wanted to mention this real quick. So, for those of you that travel, that are looking to move, right? So you got your money straight and stuff like that. And so I was talking to a brother, so this goes out to you. You can move your car. You can't do it to Brazil for reasons I explained. So here's the thing: Brazil uses two types of gasoline. and their cars are built to take in both types of gasoline. You got to get out your car and stuff like that. And so basically, you cannot bring an American car to Brazil. However, you can ship your cars to Thailand, the Philippines, and Colombia. All right, you can just drive it to Mexico. But anyway, all right. So the big three, and so yes, and you're looking at like $2,000.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, to ship it. All right, and so that's another financial thing to the brothers that's looking to get the hell out of Dodge, right? Um, you can ship your cars to the Philippines, Colombia, and Thailand. And I recommend y'all pay attention to the size in the streets. I think Thailand is going to be more I need one of you brothers to give me a loan, Elijah.
No, he lying.
That's funny.
But anyway, and so when you do the car thing, right, you got to pay attention to the size and stuff, and the country, like Brazil, you can't do it to Brazil. The Dominican Republic, you can't take a luxury car to the Dominican Republic. I don't know, and so you got to look at the type of stuff that you got. You have to look at the type of cars also that you can take there. But yeah, you can ship your cars there. So yeah. So brother Elijah looking for a loan. Okay. Allegiant Credit Union. So yeah, I would look at I found out about stuff because I go in and ask questions.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Don't be afraid.
Look, can I get
Yeah.
oh Lord. Hold on, wait, what did Texas raise in?
I can get you $5.
I can get you $5.
He didn't say how much. That's 1 gallon of gas. In Texas. I can't talk about California. In Texas.
But anyway, so
have any other
go ahead.
You can think of or anything?
Any other questions?
No, she answered all mine. You answered all mine. I'm good now.
No further questions for me.
24, how much you need? Anybody else have any other questions?
Okay. I'm glad that made sense. I hope that was enlightening for y'all. And like I said, I'll get this.
It was.
USMC vet. Open up a credit union.
Yes. So we'll
share. Yes.
In the credit union, $5.
He need 3 million, y'all. Oh Lord, bro. I hope you don't need it to live because you might die. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Switch it over.
Look. Let's see. Came on late. I'll watch the replay. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so
Hey, Nabi, before I jump off. Hey, Nabi, before I jump off, I'll tell you 4 things you don't talk about. The only thing that's not in is keyboard, suitcase, soccer balls.
Okay.
I just ain't put them in there yet. I was gonna wait. I didn't want to sit out there with it in there.
Oh, the keyboard, yeah, definitely put the keyboard in.
Well, no, that they haven't put in yet was the keyboard, the blue suitcase, and the soccer balls.
No, the blue suitcase is going to Colombia.
And the soccer balls lead them to?
They're going to Colombia.
Okay. When you
all the soccer balls are going to go to Colombia.
When you head it this way, I'll put it out there in there. I'm not gonna leave it set there where people can walk by and see it.
Yeah. So the keyboard, yeah. So the soccer balls are all going to go to Columbia. They're
Yeah.
going to go to police. They're going to go to. Remember the Afro spot, the hood, the Afro hood in for the other lady that hit my brain. Is going to go into that neighborhood with some jump ropes and stuff like
Okay.
that for the children. Yeah, and stuff. So that's going to go there. So that'll work. Okay.
$4 in food stamps. All right, Blackwood. Backwood.
Oh,
$4 in food stamps.
oh Lord. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Hey, you can sell the food stamps.
Hello for $2. Oh, how do I know that?
Oh man.
A certified classic.
Oh man. So he's at 9. He's at $9 in food stamps now.
$9 in food stamps. Good to see you, brother. So the soccer balls are all going to go to Columbia. All right. And so that's how that's going to get. Soccer balls are all going to go to Columbia. And then the other stuff. Hey, what's up, Charles? The other TD Jakes. But anyway, so the soccer balls are going to go to Columbia, all of them. So yeah, we'll get them there. So anyway, so y'all know I'll be heading to Palenque in a few days. And
I'll be following in
basically,
about a month.
So basically, all right, basically, this is where we are with the finances. And I tell you, brothers, we get our stuff straight first, and then we avoid the traps that's out there. I call them the booty traps, right? We avoid them like the plague because they don't mean it's no good. Most of it is fake. The makeup is fake. The weave is fake and has been sacrificed to the god Shiva, the god of destruction. All right. And remember the videos I did about that? Chris Rock did a whole movie about it.
Good hair.
Okay, all because the good hair, all because black women decided to make fun of his daughter's hair because she didn't have weave. Okay, and so he went and did that research. All right, and so a lot of us did videos on this stuff, right? And so their purpose, everybody has the purpose of siphoning money away from us. All right, period. And so that when we find somebody worthy and has value, we don't have nothing left because everybody done got in and had all their greasy hands all over our resources. All right. And that's when we can't do any good because some woman got our money and put it on her plastic booty. All right. And this is it. The so-called black community is dead, and we have to build the Afro one. And by Afro is each man to his own house, like in Numbers. All right. There's a reason why the Most High only sees men. There's a reason why the effectual prayer of a righteous man availeth much, because he only sees men. Why? Because whoever's with the man that he's trying to bless is also automatically blessed by being with him. That's the trade-off. All right. Women were supposed to be in their purpose, and their purpose was to have a man that ruled over them. It said rule. In Genesis, it didn't say the head. It didn't say 50-50. The man rules over it. And the difference, what's the king do? He takes care of the kingdom. He uses the money to take care of the kingdom. What's the CEO do? He uses the people to take care of his money, to make him money. For what? For the good of the people? No. For the good of the company. The kingdom do things for the good of the people. The CEO do things for the good of the company. One looks after the people, one uses the people, right? We were supposed to be raised. We are sovereigns. We rule over the home. So that means that we look out for the good of the people under our roof. All right. Everybody is trying to take our ability away to do that. All right. So that none of us will ever be any good for any woman. Remember, sex is the easiest thing to get. A relationship is difficult. But even with us, some of us aren't ready for relationships because we ain't got our stuff together to take care of someone within a relationship. And by a relationship, I don't mean dates. We don't go out on dates. Dates are exploited intentionally. Think about it. All right, they told men that we're supposed to go out on dates and we're supposed to spend a certain amount of money. Black women say for white men, they can go to the park and make a ham sandwich and sit out in the grass, and it's so romantic. If a brother do it, he broke. All right. If a brother goes to Applebee's, he's broke. A Caucasian man can take them to McDonald's, right? So why is there this rule? Because they want everybody destroyed, not just us men. They just need to get rid of us. Because remember, if you want to, y'all know the scripture. If you want to destroy the home, you must first bind the strong man. So they bind us financially. And so that's why I talk about these credit cards. The other benefit of a credit card is this. No one can keep asking you for money. You don't got it. You're using your credit card. All right. They intend to exploit us, right? So that by the time we get with a woman that's worthy, right? We don't have anything. All right. Imagine if I went out on all these dates. I met women. I tried the dating sites and I was like, you know what? I don't do dates. Oh, let's meet at a restaurant. No, if we just meeting, we ain't meeting at a restaurant. Oh, let's read that Red Lobster. Some woman wanted me to meet her at a restaurant and she thought I was going to buy food. And I said, you sure you want to talk here? Right? And so I don't do dates. Why? Because you're not supposed to spend money to get to know somebody. Once you get to know them, then you can spend the money. Because you figured out that they are worthy of what you have to spend. Bottom line. So no, ain't no dates. Ain't no dates. I'm not doing anything extravagant for somebody I don't know.
Yeah,
You
and
see what I mean?
I don't understand going to the movies either. So you're gonna take her to a movie. Y'all sitting there for 2 hours not saying nothing. When that could be
Right.
time for you
No.
to actually be talking and get to know each other. I don't get that.
Yeah. And so that's a first meeting that you talk and get to know somebody. Right. Now, if I wanted to go to a meeting and I knew you well enough to know that I'm gonna have fun. Some movies is more fun if you have somebody there, have other people there, like certain comedies, right? Some movies, like I'll go by myself because if you don't like superhero movies, I don't want you with me. I'll go see that by myself. I'm not going to have you up there. Oh Lord, when the hero going to die? No, I ain't going to put you through that. All right, if I know you well enough, right? I don't go to romance movies. You go by yourself, right? And so basically what dating is extortion. By the time you get to the woman that's really worthy of your of you spending resources on, all right, that you really developed a relationship with on, remember, it's hard to be a blessing to her or whatever else you want to do, is because all the women you met before are sucked out money from you like death by a thousand cuts, right? You was like McDonald's here. You was like um um Applebee's here. Somebody sucked you into Papacitos, Papalos, and Red Lobster. All right, that's a grip, a grip, a grip, and then by the time and nothing comes of it for you. And a lot of these women are doing this for free meals. They're playing you. No, no, no. F the dating thing. All right. No, when you find somebody of interest, all right, and then you could do stuff together. But you don't need to spend money to find out who somebody is.
Yeah, what Elias said.
Yeah. Right. And generally, statistically, Afro men are the best fathers. And we pulled up the stats, we pulled up the research, right? So why are we lied on? Right? It's destruction. When the Caucasians are using the BAW to destroy our image and destroy us, and when they're done with us, first us, then them. And a lot of the Caucasian men are starting to see that once they destroy us Afro people, they're coming from them next. That's why you see a lot of brothers, a lot of Caucasian men telling us we got to stick together now. All right. Because only now do people understand that no, they're after everybody that's not a rich billionaire. Okie dokie. My thing is just doing whatever the heck you want to do. All right. So anyway, so that's the thing, right? That's our thing. We got to understand that we're being extorted, right? And we're being extorted for the express purpose of not being able to be a blessing to the people we should be, right? Because we could always take care of ourselves. But these women with these dates and stuff, if you look at it, it's extortion. They're trying to bleed us of resources. Slowly but surely. When you go out on a date, who you giving the money to? It ain't us. Not where they want to go. It's never us. We don't own the Red Lobster Corporation, Papacitos Corporation, right? We don't own them. And they know this. Their job is to take our money and give it to our oppressor, thinking that they're going to be in line with the oppressor at the end of it. They forget that they're outnumbered by the oppressor's women. All right. So, yeah, so that's the thing. We got to be good stewards over our resources so that we can give them only to the people that's worthy of it. All right. And so that's basically it. Anybody else have anything? Anyone else?
Hey, thanks for the info, sister. Thank you for coming on, blessing us with all this knowledge you just dropped on us. Trust me, you hit a few nerves on me more ways than one. That's all positive. Nabi, if I see you tonight, all right. I'm checking out, finish up some stuff. Thank y'all. Peace in the chat. Good night, brothers.
All right, Texas Marine. Yeah, same here. Nabi, good show. Nice to meet you, Khadija. I appreciate the information. It's very informative. Informative. Nabi, when are you going out to Colombia?
On the 8th,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All
I'll
right.
be I'll be there. I'll be in your neck of the woods around the 6th.
That's next week, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, yeah. If you
All right.
need me, just let me know. Just come by, swing by.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I
It
appreciate
was a blessing.
I
That
appreciate
was really cool. Yeah.
really good. I'm glad to answer some questions, and I'm glad to be able to, be on here to help my brothers out, because it's important to be, like you said, good stewards over our money. And as Black people, we gotta be able to have some type of economic backing to be able to have some type of power. So we got to start individually. So I appreciate that.
All right. So nobody else is popping on. So with that said, we're gonna shut her down. But thank y'all for popping on. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hey, you got a YouTube channel? Khadijah.
I don't have a YouTube channel for my finances, but if you want to get in contact with me, you can visit my website.
Oh, she got a website. She got a whole website. What's your website so I can put it up here real quick?
So my website is real simple. It's kind of long, but it's simple. Step by step, financialwellness.com.
So it's step by step.
Financialwellness.com.
Okay.
And yes, you go on there, you can, find out a little bit more about me. I got a bio on there, and then I got some services on there if you want to book some time to talk or anything like that. But yeah, if anybody want to get in contact with me off of there, just let me know that you found me off of this live, and we can chat and get started, do whatever we need to do.
Step by step financial wellness.
You see me?
Uh, okay, so it's www. Ah, ah, I keep hitting the space button. I think that's it. I'm messing it up. Could you send me? Could you put it in your? Could you put a link in your thing real quick?
Yeah,
Put it in your Facebook real quick.
Oh, okay. Hold on, let me see. Let me go. And then let me here. There, you should have that.
Oh, it's on. Oh, I got it. I got it. Here you go. Hey y'all, here's the link I got off. It's a Facebook link. Yeah. There we go. There's the one. All right, let me put up what it looked like.
Oh yeah, that's the Facebook.
This is the Facebook one.
Yep. And then on the Facebook page, it's a link to the actual website, or you could just step-by-step financial.
All right. And so here we go. The link to the actual website is right down here.
Yes. I had to come official with a website now. You can't try to be talking about people's money.
And I have a website. Okie dokie. And here it is. So everybody can see that.
Yes.
So let me grab this screen. And put that in here.
Yes. So that's where you
So
can
if y'all need to click on it.
Yes. And then I'm going to get that link to you for the free stuff. Okay.
Okie dokie. So, gonna bust a move for right here now. And I will holla at y'all. Okay, hold on. Okay, hey brother, when you get a chance. Check out. Oh, property tax in Colombia. Okay, I will. I'll check out property tax in Colombia. And I know just how to do that. DC Born Rob. All right. Thank you, masculinity. All right. Hey, no problem, Nisi Ross. No problem. It's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so. All right, peace to you, Daniel. All right, so there it is. There it is. All right, so I will put this in. This will be in the description box once my stuff is once this video uploads. Okay, so it'll be in the description box. All right. So with that said, everybody, time to bust a move. Thank you all for stopping by. I will holler at y'all in a little bit. And I'm gonna call you real quick. I'm gonna holler at the rest of y'all in a little bit. And check me out on the next one. Probably, I don't know. Y'all, I need to rest. I'm for real. I've been messing some stuff up. But anyway. So with that said, I'm out. Peace, love, and salute.